Midnight's Addonpocalypse has overall been a necessary evil to maintain the health of the game. However, the process has also caught a lot of quality of life WeakAuras and add-ons in the crossfire. What I'm going to show today is probably the best catch-all add-on which replaces a mountain of those old WeakAuras and add-ons, which are now defunct, all in a single easy to configure package. This includes interface customization, cursor rings, M+ features like teleports and talent reminders, and a huge amount more. So the add-on I'm talking about is called Enhance QOL. I will leave a link in the description below. The dev for this add-on is doing God's work. So we'll start with some interface stuff. This add-on adds things like your enchants onto your character pane. It will show you which bits of gear are missing enchants, which bits of gear also have gems that you can add to them. It also has this easy add gem feature, which I think is very, very cool. In the past, the normal base UI requires you to drag the gem from your inventory, pop it in, click enter, and then drag it again. So this just puts it all in one nice spot, just straight below the piece of gear that you're trying to put the gems in. Also, little pet peeve here, when I was going through the auction house, I bought a Dragonflight leg enchant, which I've done so many times. There is also an option in this add-on to make it so the auction house also only shows current expansion materials if the option's checked. Probably don't use this now because it's only showing Midnight stuff right at the moment. However, once the patch actually rolls around and we're into the next expansion, this will be super useful, and I'll no longer buy people's missives and enchants and all that stuff from previous expansions. You can do some customization things in terms of just the look of the UI. You can hide the borders of the bars. You can change the font. You can shorten the text, which I think is really good because normally it will cut it off. So having it just say S middle button is really, really nice. It looks a lot better. You can also change things to have mouse over visibility. So what I've done here is changed my character options and my bag options to be mouse over only. This is really nice. It kind of cleans up the interface a little bit so you can only see things when you need to see them. The add-on also has inbuilt sort of cast bars and cooldowns and resource bars, things like that. This is something that I didn't use much with this because I already have things like the Luxthos package and some other add-ons doing this already. But if you wanted to just use this add-on for your UI customization in the cooldown manager, you can also do that. It also has similar functions to Plater as well. So if you're not using Plater or any nameplate add-on, this add-on also has pretty good features for that as well. It's also got an action tracker. This is something that not a lot of people will want to use, but I personally like having it on the screen just to show what abilities I've pressed. It's also really good for video footage if you're making anything to show other people. You can change the health text on either enemies or yourself to be a percentage or the numeric value or both. On to more just quality of life stuff. You can check this setting to have the loot spec icons show in the dungeon journal. So this is really good if you're looking through next season's dungeons to see what pieces of gear drop and for what spec they drop. It has a money tracker built into it. I haven't set this one up yet, but this will just show how much gold you have across all of the characters that it's tracking. Couple of my personal favorites coming up. We've got an auto delete adder. So when you go to delete anything above green rarity, so any blues or purples, this add-on will now automatically add the word delete so that you don't have to repeatedly type it out. Possibly one of the biggest ones that we've missed with the WeakAuras disappearing is the mouse ring. Now, in this sort of clutter of PvE, it can sometimes be really hard to keep track of your cursor. So this add-on has the option to give a ring around your mouse, which is basically identical to the old WeakAura that used to do this. You can change the color, and you can also add traces to it as well. So this just helps keep track of your cursor. The add-on has an auto quest accept and complete feature. It's got a quest tracker collapse, which I think is really good. Often the quest bar on the side will clutter up the screen. So what the add-on is going to do is if you collapse it, it won't like auto expand it when you log back into the character or when you hop to a different character. You have to just manually click the plus button on the side. On the Mythic Plus side of things, it adds a auto key adder, which I'm not sure if another add-on is already doing this. I have a feeling that like MDT might. But if you don't have one that automatically adds the key into the keystone pane, then this is a good one to use. There are ready check and pull buttons that will show up on the key screen. I didn't get footage of this because I didn't have any dungeons where I was the holder of the key, but I've seen other players' footage and it's just a really nice quality of life. You don't need a macro for /ready check or /pull. There is a talent checker. So you can set up for each of the dungeons in the season which talents you want to be using, and then it will give you an alert on ready check before you go as to whether you're in the correct talents or whether you're not. During the key, it also adds a timer for when you are going to either +2 or +3 the dungeon. On the LFG side of things, a couple of nice quality of life features here. It will automatically sort the IO of applicants based on highest to lowest. You get some extra filter options. There is a one-click apply button, so instead of having to click the join group and then click your spec, it's just a single click and it will then effectively just auto apply. There is also an option to move the reset Blizzard filter option to the other side, so it's like not near the refresh bar so that you don't accidentally refresh it. One of my personal favorites is the hold to release. So there was a WeakAura that a lot of people used to use where you couldn't release if you died unless you held down like control or shift for 1 second. This is the same thing here. It basically stops you from just like auto-releasing when you probably should have waited for a battle res. The add-on has the feature to do auto combat logging. I didn't test this out, but it looks like what it will do is it will start logging the instant that you are in one of the settings that you've basically assigned as being a logging sort of situation. So that's really cool. There's a lot of chat features as well. I haven't played a lot with these. This is definitely one of those add-ons that you can sit there and just like fidget with the settings for hours. I really liked the chat history feature, so it didn't delete old messages. There's this like instant messages style thing that like splits your chats into this like extra window here, like this chat that I'm having with Fred right now. Really, really cool. It's probably just a personal preference thing, but like it's a nice option to have. There's also an enhanced friends list styling thing that will show like more information on the players in your Battle.net list and what they're playing and what level they are and all that sort of stuff. The add-on has options for auto repairs, auto selling of items, so similar to like dejunk and things that we've used in the past. And we've also got optional mute for specific sounds. So you can pick sounds that you don't want to hear, and then you can also add extra sounds to certain things. So this add-on's doing a lot, and I've only really brushed the surface. There's actually a lot of other settings in here that you can have a play with. The thing I really like though is this add-on is basically taking so many of the quality of life features that we were used to by using a lot of different WeakAuras and just puts them all into one package. You can basically probably forego a bunch of add-ons and then not miss all of the old features of the WeakAuras that we no longer have access to. So once again, Enhance QOL, I will pop the CurseForge link in the description. Fantastic add-on. Major props to the dev of this one. This is just a huge accomplishment to be able to package so many different features into one add-on that is also not particularly resource intense. I didn't really notice any impact on game performance or anything like that. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope this add-on is as positive for you as it has been for me. Big thank you to my supporters on screen. If you want to support the channel, you can either click the join button or go to the Buy Me a Coffee link at the bottom of my website, which I will also link in the description. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Until next time, gamers. Take care.